Imagine a world cloaked in darkness, a world where the setting sun brought not peace, but a deep, primal fear. For our earliest ancestors, night was a time of immense danger. The air grew cold, and unseen predators lurked just beyond the edges of their perception. Survival was a constant, grueling battle against the elements and the creatures of the dark. This was the reality of prehistoric life, a life lived on a knife's edge. But then, something extraordinary happened. A bolt of lightning strikes a dry tree, or a spark from clashing rocks finds purchase in a bed of tinder. A tiny, flickering orange light is born. This wasn't just a light, it was a revolution. This was the first fire. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying deep into the past, back to a pivotal moment in human history that forever changed our destiny. We're talking about the moment we first tamed fire. It's a story so fundamental to our existence that it's easy to overlook its profound impact. But mastering fire wasn't just about getting warm. It was about security, community, and the very dawn of what we now call civilization. So, gather around our digital campfire and let us explore how this single element ignited the human spirit and set us on the path to becoming who we are today. Before fire, the daily cycle was dictated by the sun. Daylight was for a frantic search for food hunting, gathering, and scavenging. Nightfall meant retreat, huddling together in caves or crude shelters, hoping to survive until morning. The cold was a relentless enemy, seeping into bones and making sleep a dangerous gamble. And the sounds of the night, the snap of a twig, the distant roar, a constant reminder of the threats that lay in wait. The world was big, and early humans were a very small, very vulnerable part of it. Their senses, though sharp, were no match for the complete sensory deprivation of a moonless night. Then came the flame. It is difficult for us to truly comprehend the awe and terror our ancestors must have felt when they first encountered fire. Initially, it would have been a natural phenomenon of forest fire, a volcanic eruption, a force of pure destruction. But somewhere along the line, a brave or perhaps just desperate individual made a crucial discovery. This terrifying force could be controlled. Perhaps they managed to carry a burning branch back to their camp from a lightning strike. The act of keeping that ember alive, feeding it with dry leaves and twigs, would have been one of the first great technological challenges. The immediate benefit was warmth. For the first time, our ancestors could ward off the biting chill of the night. This wasn't just about comfort. It was about survival. Staying warm conserved precious calories that were incredibly hard to come by. It meant a lower risk of hypothermia and a better chance of waking up to see the next sunrise. The fire became a central hearth, a beacon of life in the cold, unforgiving landscape. It extended the day, pushing back the oppressive darkness and giving our ancestors more time. But the warmth was just the beginning. The light of the fire was a powerful shield. Predators like saber-tooth, cats and cave bears, which relied on the cover of darkness to hunt, were instinctively wary of the flames. A circle of fire created a zone of safety, a sanctuary where the group could rest without constant fear of attack. This newfound security was transformative. It meant less stress and more energy could be dedicated to other things. It allowed for deeper, more restorative sleep, which in turn would have had a massive impact on cognitive development. A well-rested brain is a more capable brain. With safety and warmth secured, another incredible door opened. The culinary one. Cooking food was a game changer. Raw meat is tough to chew and difficult to digest. It also carries a high risk of parasites and bacteria. By cooking meat over the fire, our ancestors made it easier to consume and safer to eat. But more importantly, cooking unlocks nutrients. It breaks down tough fibers and proteins, making it easier for the body to absorb a higher concentration of calories and energy. Some anthropologists argue that this dietary shift was a key catalyst for the evolution of our large, complex brains. Our brains are incredibly energy-hungry organs, and the cooked food diet provided the high-quality fuel necessary to power their growth. It wasn't just meat, either. Cooking starchy roots and tubers made them digestible, opening up a whole new range of reliable food sources. So, the fire is providing warmth, safety, and a better diet. But its impact goes even deeper, right into the heart of our social structure. The campfire became the world's first living room. Before, the group would scatter and huddle in the dark. Now, they had a central point together, around the flickering flames. They were no longer just a collection of individuals. They became a community. This is where a shared culture began to truly blossom. The fire didn't just illuminate Nihove faces, it illuminated their minds. With the immediate threats held at bay, people had time to think, to communicate, and to connect on a deeper level. The hours after a hunt, once spent in anxious darkness, could now be filled with activity. This was the time for tool-making. Under the reliable light of the fire, our ancestors could chip away at flint with greater precision, crafting more effective spearheads, scrapers, and hand axes. The quality and complexity of their tools began to improve Rupas, leading to more successful hunts and better processing of resources. And most importantly, this is where a rich oral tradition was born. As the flames danced and cast long shadows on the cave walls, elders would share a knowledge. They'd recount the events of the day's hunt, plan for the next, and pass down vital survival skills to the younger generation. But they would also tell stories. They would create myths to explain the mysteries of the world, the moon, the thunder. They would share tales of heroic ancestors and cunning animals. This was the birth of narrative, of art, of religion. The fire was the first stage, and the storyteller was the first performer. These shared stories bonded the group together, creating a common identity and a collective memory that transcended the individual lifespan. It was in the firelight that we first started asking the big questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? What is our place in the universe? The control of fire, therefore, wasn't just a technological leap. It was a psychological and social one. It gave us control over our environment in a way that no other species had ever achieved. It allowed us to expand our territories, moving into colder climates that would have been previously uninhabitable. It was the first step in reshaping the world to suit our needs, rather than simply adapting to it. This newfound power and confidence fueled innovation and exploration. The hearth became the heart of the home, the anchor of the community, and the incubator for human culture. From that first uncertain spark, a chain reaction was set off that continues to this day. Our modern world is, in many ways, built upon that ancient foundation. Our power plants are, in essence, giant, sophisticated fires. The internal combustion engine that powers our cars is a series of controlled explosions. The central heating in our homes is a direct descendant of that first campfire. Even our social gatherings, from a backyard barbecue to a group of friends chatting in a cafe, echo the ancient impulse to gather around a source of warmth and light to share food, stories, and companionship. The next time you see a flickering candle, a cozy fireplace, or even the flame on your gas stove, take a moment to reflect. You're looking at the same element that our ancestors tamed hundreds of thousands of years ago. You're looking at the light that banished the darkness, the warmth that conquered the cold, and the energy that fueled the rise of humanity. It's a powerful reminder of our ingenuity, our resilience, and the deep, ancient connection we all share to that very first fire.